This is another camera I use when I don't want to use my brain. Yes, I have used this for editorials and campaigns in the past.
It fits in your back pocket. It has amazing bokeh. I have a feeling Dido shot this image with a Ricoh GR series camera, specifically a GR.
The Ricoh GR, doing some natural light stuff.
If you've been following me for a minute, you know the GR is a big go-to for me.
When I talk about cameras, I'm not trying to sell you on topical gear or talk about specs. I'm explaining what works best for my art, as in what feels the best in my hands, what functionalities play the best when I'm working, and the type of results that I can produce from these cameras. Camera gear is a very personal topic, and you shouldn't be bought into buying a camera. You should buy a camera because it is the right choice for you. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my go-to cameras for specifically my independent projects, my running guns, i.e. Pulp, why and how I use them, and some of the little things that I personally love about them. This is not gear that I would use for every single photo shoot situation. This rather is more for the imperfect, raw aesthetic that Pulp is known for, and kind of serves as the catalyst of my creative aesthetic. Now, if you've been with me for a minute, you know very well about my love for the GR2. I got this camera back in 2017. I was very inspired by Dido Maruyama's use of it, as well as its discretion in design, its amazing bokeh, and its grit. The GR2 is actually an upgrade to my Lumix GF1, which is another awesome little mirrorless camera. I like to use this camera a lot for nighttime stuff, but also recently I've been using it during the day with natural light. It's got a little flash on it and a pancake 20mm lens, which is very sharp and small. However, the GR2 is a bokeh beast, and bokeh is really important to my work. And the Ricoh GR2, it has that filmic bokeh feel in it. Also, I don't think much when I use this camera. I feel like I'm on vacation when I use it. I set a base setting, like depending on the environment I'm in, like what the lighting's like, and then I just shoot away. When I use digital, I'm taking advantage of the fact that your contingency is limitless compared to using film. And obviously the fact that it is so small is motivation to take it with you everywhere. It's an easy passenger and also quite a good problem solver when I'm in a rut using other cameras. Very versatile, GR2 till I die, which leads me to the opposite of simple functionality, my beloved Pentax MX, which as you can see is falling apart, been falling apart actually. This camera has shaped my gritty, rugged aesthetic, I guess, as using it is also a very gritty, rugged experience. You can see here I have the bottom of it nicely gorilla taped. Unfortunately, batteries no longer work inside of it. I'm usually using an iPhone to light meter, or I can sort of assume the settings based on using it so much. Having learned a lot about photography through this analog camera was fundamental in shaping the design of my work, but also helping me understand photography in general. It's actually really guided how I see photos and what is perfect to me. You know, having manual focus, you're not always going to be perfect in what you're shooting, and sometimes accepting that in your work can be a beautiful thing. And also, it's built like a tank. I could throw this against a brick wall and the lens would probably be cracked, but the rest of it would be good. So throughout my years using this camera, I've only actually used two lenses with this. The 50mm that's on it, I would use predominantly, and also the 75 by 300mm Magnicon lens, which you've seen in my last video, which I got at a garage sale. That lens is the only reason I'll still use this camera today. I really, really like that aesthetic, and the process of shooting with it is really fun. If you're here and you're starting photography, get yourself something like this. They're not expensive. You can probably find them for under 50 bucks on eBay with a lens, and just start shooting with this. I tell you, you're gonna learn so much shit. So as an upgrade to this camera, I bought a Nikon F3. It's just absolutely beautiful. It always kind of reminded me of like a Lamborghini Countach. The Nikon F series cameras are pretty badass. Its predecessor, the Nikon F, is famously known for stopping an AK-47 bullet, saving the life of a photojournalist in Vietnam. I value cameras that can handle a rough lifestyle, and the Nikon F3 is no exception to that. At the time, I debated getting the F4 specifically so that I could have lenses with autofocus, but I think the muscle that I had developed from using the MX for so long and some of the images from manual focusing, I thought if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and I'll stick with the F3 as I prefer the build anyways. Like the MX, this is also a camera that I usually only have on me when I know that I am shooting something, whether I'm in studio doing portraiture or I'm out in the field, i.e. in the Pulp episode, first 30 hours in Japan, the night that I went out with Albo, I brought the F3 with me because I knew that I was going to be taking a ton of pictures that night. On it currently, I have what's called a motor drive, which is a battery grip, but also helps me take photos continuously with it. So that's all from the battery grip. I have a prism on it. Every Nikon F3 has a prism on it, and a gun coupler which attaches my transmitters, flashes, that kind of jazz. And I mostly use this with the 50mm that's attached to it, just because, like I said, with the MX, I was mostly using 50mm, and it just developed, the way I like to do things independently. So I will probably buy an F4 this year, but not as a replacement, but just an SLR that I can use in faster paced environments. The F3 will always have a place in my heart. Lastly, I have the Contax G2, which I've owned for a long time, but only really been using in the last year. This camera feels like the closest film camera I have to the GR2 in terms of how I use it, when I use it, and the results that I get from it. You're not thinking as much when you're using it as opposed to the latter cameras, which are a lot more technical to handle. For instance, in one of my last episodes, Photographer Learns How to Leap, being on the edge of a 550 meter high granite slope, it's difficult to use a camera in a technical sense. Having the G2 handy on me, I was easily able to get the shot versus using an F3, which would have been a lot more difficult to use while trying to stay alive. So this camera does make photography on film easy. I've had a lot of point and shoots, and this one feels the best in my hands, and also the most durable, which of course we know is a fundamental part of why I love the cameras that I love. It fits in my independent shooting, especially when I'm out in the field and only have one arm available. If you like some of the images and want to see more of the clips, those are Pulp episodes, and they are all on my channel. Check them out. Bye. Later.
What's your thing? Bugs. Everybody's gotta have a thing.